Okay, we have two more readers to go. Alexandra Teague is up next. Alexandra Teague is the author of two books of poetry, The Wise and Foolish Builders, Persa 2015, and Mortal Geography, Persa 2010. She's the winner of the 2009 Lexi Rudnitsky Prize and the 2010 California Book Award for Poetry, the recipient of a Stegner Fellowship, a National Endowment for the Arts Fellowship, and the 2014 Missouri Review Editors Prize. Alexandra is Assistant Professor of Poetry at University of Idaho and an editor for Broadsided Press. Alexandra will be reading a few new poems from her manuscript in progress, The Exposition Girl. Welcome.
Thank you all for being here. As everybody's been saying, it's really amazing to read with so many talented, wonderful people. So I'll read two poems, and the first one is called Audrey Munson, The American Venus Reimagines Her Life as Still Life. And this came from something that I heard the painter Alex Katz say about the painter Jane Freilicher. So Alex Katz paints portraits, and Jane Freilicher was known for her still lifes, often against the background of Manhattan. And he was complimenting her work and said, "Flowers are much harder than faces." So I started thinking about what it would mean to want to be represented as a flower rather than as a figure model, as Audrey Munson was. So Audrey Munson, The American Venus, reimagines her life as still life. To not need this mouth, these hands to arrange, to have been as ordinary, as strange a sound as orange tucked in a tiger lily's bright Victrola horn, to have unlaced myself from every corseted kick of the dancing dolls, and not been China doll at all, but China plate, vines and hard grapes, domestic and wild as a picnic, dune grass and panic grass like upended knives, to be an excuse for light on the boardwalk, the shore, and then Manhattan turned to mute geometry behind a table's cloth, slight cotton billows, harder to paint and paint again than any mouth. To have been worth looking at for every streak and crumple and petal fleck, not an expectation of eyebrows and neck, but asters purple frill and blunt cut stems, no hope that the water will save them. To never have been the girl dreaming music box trinkets and admired face, no bloomer ruffled stalk down winter streets, to have no story to rearrange my lips to tell, no single star but a quick bouquet that makes a foreground of any windowsill, sweeping all the lives outside into squares of background light. What would have mattered then? Not happiness, not loneliness, peonies, a saucer's expressionless white. And I've been working on a series of poems that I originally thought were going to be for the next book, but I think are going to probably get folded into The Exposition Girl. And these are in the voice of Baba Yaga, the Russian fairy tale witch, who I've been fascinated with since I was a kid, and my mom read me Baba Yaga stories in Fort Worth, Texas. And Baba Yaga, if you don't know of her, is famous for riding around in a mortar and pestle and having iron teeth and being really generally terrifying. But I've started imagining her doing various things because I think she's an interesting way to think about contemporary American culture. And so this poem is called Baba Yaga Rides It's a Small World. So it takes the Disney ride and, of course, and also takes on a bit of Freud's theory of the uncanny. And it's in Baba Yaga's voice, addressed to the dolls, as you'll hear. Dear dolls, do not believe Freud, it's your almost aliveness that frightens, that you are, yet are not. No one believes Dutch girls wear folded paper hats and carry tulips, except Donald Trump, except anger and men who make islands. Tell them about islands. Tell them about glue. how the sweet parade wave you have perfected is gesture as lacquer, elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist. It's not a talent to throw tulips that never leave your hands. You know the windmill like it is your dirty-fingered brother, like it is the red pagoda plus arms, one singing room away. It's all the same sea, dyed with copper sulfate until the blue is uncanny, like womb water, like the sea of repression. That doesn't mean these people fear castration at your tiny hands, that you might pluck their eyes from their head. They'd give those freely for mouse ears, for a wood-fingered double who knows how to scrub dishes, how in some fairy tales to trick witches, dear dolls. Have you noticed no one steps onto your shores? That's because it's illegal. No one knows your stiff-legged patriotic dance. Tell us what you've done with all the guns. It's a small world for airplanes and Ebola, for a girl face down on classroom tiles pretending dead when the shooter says, "Raise your head." Dear people, are you frightened yet? Freud was right about compulsion. You have sex dolls to prove it. You have maquilladoras where women paint smiles. You have primitive urges. You've heard it all deep inside your psyche. Climb out of that boat of reason. What can you do about this world but wave and wave and wave and wave? Thank you all.